Hi guys, this is Daniel. Welcome to Mathemacity. So we have a question here to solve. This question is from limit, which is still I think the first thing you do first before differentiation, before we move into differentiation. So now we have the question here. Now to solve this question, let us try to understand the question because there are various methods where you can use to solve limit questions. Now let us first answer this question by inspection. Inspection, how do I mean? Let us just put the values like the limit here. They say limit as s tends to 0. Let's just put 0 directly. What are we going to have? So by inspection, that means we'll be having e raised to power 3 times 0 minus 1 over 0. And here that will be 1 minus 1 over 0, which is 0 divided by 0. And this here cannot be our final answer, but instead is passing us a message. There's an idea, or there are a few principles in limit that we have to understand, and here this solution here is somehow telling us that we need to recall one of those principles. And the principle states that if you have both your denominator and numerator to be 0 as your answer, the best method to use to solve or answer that question is to use the L'Hospital rule. The L'Hospital rule. So the L'Hospital rule here says that we should differentiate both the numerator and the denominator respectively, and then we can now substitute the value. That means here we'll be having the limit as s tends to 0 of, now let us start, the dx of what? E raised to power 3x minus 1 over d dx of x. You can see it now. That simply means that our question here is going to change form. So instead of having it the normal way, it will now be here, the derivative will now be 3 e raised to power 3x minus 1 over what? Over 1. That simply means since we have this solution, it is now going to be in this form. The limit as s tends to 0 of 3 e raised to power 3x minus 1. Now let us substitute 0 directly. So our answer here will now be 3 e raised to power 3 times 0 minus 1, which is 3 e raised to power 3 times 0, which is 0 minus 1. And we all know that anything raised to power 0 is 1. That will be 3 times 1 minus 1, which is 3 minus 1. And your final answer is 2. You can see. So the inspection method exposed to us that this question can't just be solved using the contemporary method. That means by substitution method, but instead the L'Hospital rule. So the very first thing you should always do is to use your inspection method. So if your inspection method shows you that this here can't be solved using the substitution method directly, you have to use the L'Hospital rule, and this is how to solve this question. So thank you for watching my video. See you the next class.